r/AskReddit, what is a basic computer skill you were shocked some people don't have? Not knowing what double-click means. Reading. As a tech supporter I get the stupidest questions. Client, there is a prompt here that says your computer needs to reboot to finish installing updates. Click here to restart. What does that mean? Me, it means your computer installed updates and needs to reboot. Client, how do I do that? Me, click on the prompt to restart. My college roommate didn't know he could change his desktop background. He was blown away and went to show it to one of our other friends, who was also blown away because she didn't know you could change the background. You'd be surprised how many folk don't know what to type into search engines to find what they're looking for. Shape recognition. Does the end of the cable look like the hole in the machine? It's amazing how many people can't figure that out at work. Been working in IT long enough to where people not having basic computer skills doesn't shock me anymore. But still, how do people never figure out that you can search for programs in the Start menu? My Outlook is gone. Hit Start and types Outlook. Oh, there it is. How'd you find it? Straight face. Copy and paste shortcuts. Literacy. No, I don't mean being computer literate, I mean reading the English words on a computer screen. In college I worked as help desk, and you would not believe the number of calls we got because the user just didn't read the text on the screen. Not knowing how to enter a URL. I've tried to get people to enter a URL over the phone and they just put it in the Google search bar, usually after first going to Google.com. My computer turns on, but my monitor doesn't show the picture. Me, is your monitor plugged in and connected to the back of your PC? No, I needed to use that outlet so I unplugged it. Me, sad face. I once did a bit of tutoring for folk, and I remember one lady asked how she could open Word. So I told her to move the mouse pointer over the Word icon and double click on it, to which she replied, "Oh no, I can't do that. I don't like those mice thingies." Knowing how to save or open a document. I'm not kidding. I work with teenagers. Edit. Wow, it's amazing how many of these comments are kids and their phones these days, or kids have it too easy these days. Maybe, when the OS is simplified but they still can't work with it, the issue isn't that they've been working with simplified OS all this time. The ability to follow a step-by-step how-to instructions. Example, I worked with a place that used a lot of pictures files. There was an issue where we couldn't open JPEG files, but JPG were okay. So you would have to rename the files to JPG. I got my first batch of 100 JPEG files and said, there must be an easier way. Everyone insisted you have to do it one by one. So I looked it up online and found it. You can change file extensions in bulk using the command prompt. It literally took 5 steps. I made an easy to follow instructional document with screenshots, and passed it around to everyone. I thought they'd be very thankful that I saved them hours of work. A month later I caught them renaming each file one by one. I didn't say anything. ETA since this got popular. I couldn't just edit the default program to open the files because this was for a plugin within another application to organize the picture files. The plugin did not recognize the extension, so it has to be changed. I shared the how-to with my co-workers because they were always complaining they were too busy, some were behind in their KPIs by months and subject to a lot of customer complaints, so I thought they would appreciate this. Also, I'm not a programmer and have nothing to do with IT, so if there are other ways to do this, I was not aware at the time. I literally just Googled how to do it and this came up, and it worked. Reading. You don't know how many family members have asked me to come help them because something popped up. Then why is it popped up? box says update will happen tonight. Me, there is an update coming, nothing to worry about. Them, oh wow, I'm so bad with this, I wish I understood it like you. It's in plain English, just read the screen, god damn it. Reading. Seriously. Read the text in the dialogue and you'll know what to do in 99% of cases. That turning it off and back on is a solution to most common problems. How to use Excel. Went to a job interview and they asked me about Excel and how would I rate myself. I asked them to clarify, like basic spreadsheet functions, formulas, or programming in Excel. They looked at me in shock and said, you know a lot, you're an advanced user. Woman face palming. I never answered the question and they moved on to the next question. Edit. For those asking if I got the job. They offered me the job. But I went with another place that had better opportunities. Just navigating Windows Explorer, and the organization of files. The amount of people who just stick every single file on their desktop is crazy, and they're not arranged in any particular order. When they need to find a file they have to peer all around their desktop to find it. How to close a fucking browser. People often forget they can Google stuff instead of posting questions on social media. Edit. Pertaining to questions not requiring personal experience or perspective. For example, what are the colors of the rainbow? How many months are there in a year? Those type of questions. It is said that the ability to use a projector decreases with more degrees. 100% true, at least at my university. How to open Task Manager when everything is freezing and force quit programs. Ctrl plus Alt plus Del was one of the first things my mom taught me on our home computer back in '95. I'm not actually surprised that people don't know how to use Shift, Tab, and Enter keystrokes to navigate, especially when the mouse is AWOL. But it's one of those skills that just makes using a computer easier. Okay, so I worked as a Best Buy computer tech in the early 2000s, right around the time they were buying out the Geek Squad. I tell this story realizing how utterly ridiculous it is, but I attest that it happened as I tell it. I'm at work and the phone at our workbench rings. A woman is on the line, clearly stressed. Woman, hey, I just wanted you to know that your servers are on fire. Me, I'm sorry, what? Your servers. They're on fire. I was shopping on your website and my computer started smoking. It takes me a moment to begin to grasp the situation. Me, wait, ma'am, is your computer on fire? Well, it's just smoking right now. Me, ma'am, you need to hang up and call the fire department, right now. Oh, okay, thank you. Click. So, this happened almost 20 years ago and here is what I have deduced probably happened. She was on the Best Buy website when something happened to her PC. Probably full of dust and it started smoking. Since she doesn't understand the internet, she assumes that when she goes to our website, it connects to the closest Best Buy. She linked connecting to our servers with her computer catching fire -- she thought the fire made its way through the phone line to her computer and made it start smoking. She wanted to let us know so we could fix the problem on our end. I cannot guarantee that's what she thought. I sometimes think about this when I am lying in bed and can't sleep. I'll never know for sure. If anybody creates a time machine and wants to make a pit stop on the way to Hitler, hit me up. TLDR, while working at Best Buy, a woman called in to tell us our servers were on fire because her PC started smoking while she was browsing the BB website. Edit, fixed 2 words pointed out by a right good chap. That deleting the icon does not delete the game. Had a situation happen with an older co-worker when I worked at Pizza Hut who knew I was in college for CS. She walked up to me with gusto and says, I need a windproof Wi-Fi router because the wind keeps blowing it away. Then when I try to explain to her that wind doesn't blow away Wi-Fi. I shit you not, this lady goes, "No wonder you can't get a job in computers." A couple hours later, she's outside on the phone cussing out the ISP because they told her the same thing I did. Turns it was orchestrated by her grandson telling her to ask for windproof routers. Like when your dad tells you to go into AutoZone to ask for blinker fluid. Not realizing that there is more written in an email beyond the preview. Apparently all emails are only a few sentences long and typically trail off mid-sentence according to this person. Turning caps lock on and off to type a capital letter, instead of using the shift key. Work IT, you will never be shocked by anything. There are a lot of people that don't know how to save/open a file, or I cannot tell you how many times I've had to teach someone how to browse to a website. Mostly old people that had a PC bought for them by their kids/grandkids, and the kids set it up so they can open Outlook to stay in contact with everyone and get photos. I had gotten a number of younger people too though, which is very surprising. Talking to a 25-year-old that doesn't even know how to turn their PC on. Thank fuck I don't work IT anymore. As a 21-year-old who grew up with computers and is now a graphic design student, I learned 2 weeks ago that Ctrl+A selected whole text blocks. This already changed my life. How to effectively and succinctly begin a Google search. Some people are terrible at putting down the right keywords. Not recognizing a scam email when it's really obvious. Not so much a skill, but I was shocked when I would interview people in my previous company at the number of individuals who don't have an email address or even know how to create one. Just opening up and closing a tab on a browser. And also not knowing what I mean when I say what browser do you use. How to keep the desktop from having 100 program shortcuts on it. I've talked to people who don't want their desktop to be that way but think it's unavoidable. These aren't necessarily skills and more related to hardware, but these things annoy me. 1. Calling desktop cabinets CPUs. 2. Assuming all desktops have speakers and Wi-Fi. 3. Assuming all monitors have webcams. 4. This is a skill, switching off the desktop instead of the monitor when you're asked to switch off the monitor. Typing at an average speed, at least. It's painful to wait for someone to type something so slowly. I'm in my 40s, I teach at a private elementary school. A teacher in her late 20s shared a Google Doc with me, and she had centered the title by hitting spacebar a bunch of times. Another teacher, around my age, wanted to know why Google Docs would not translate her document into Spanish. It was a JPEG with text on it. No one seems to know any keyboard shortcuts. Typing into the keyboard as a typewriter instead of 1x1 fingers. I am 40 plus, learned to use a typewriter at 14, thanks to my retired office mom. Started learning computers at 16. I've been/met in a lot of schools, as a teacher or visitor, where they teach computer/programming basics, but most of them doesn't teach students to type the keyboard properly. A few of them provided typing games. I'm always surprised by how bad most people are at using search terms that optimize their results, like when they Google things. The ability to use a keyboard/type correctly. While in a research class in college, about 3 years ago, my professor took the time to teach us how to use a keypad to facilitate data entry. Having taken a keyboarding class in high school, I thought it was unnecessary until people started asking questions and actually learning. It was then that I realized how many people my age don't actually know how to use a keyboard. It was wild. That most commercial office printers have a document server function. You send the print job and the printer holds in a queue. Go to the printer and select your print job. No problems with a colleague accidentally taking part of your print job. Half my lab didn't know about this. Use section headers and Word will automatically generate an updatable table of contents for you. I've met recent graduates that don't know that. Excel formulas, even basic stuff is unknown by so many people. Never mind more advanced formulas that use logic code. I'm 43 and grew up when computers were newer and we were all very well versed in how they work and so forth. When I began my career in my 20s, I was somewhat of the tech guy. I figured younger people would know more than me in the future. No, it swung the other way. Example, I work with an intelligent woman who is 26 to 29 years old. She was on her laptop and said out loud in a meeting, "Hey, and now I know how to copy and paste, I can just copy and paste this a few times and make minor changes along the way." Wait. She didn't know copy and paste? And she graduated from university? It's not uncommon. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you have enjoyed this video and subscribe to never miss an upload.